Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out a pre-alpha preview, enough pre's in there, of Our Darker Purpose by Avidly Wild Games. This is a top-down action RPG roguelike. I know there's like a million genre-defining elements here, but I have to sort of set the stage for you. And the best way that I think to liken this to an experience that you might be already familiar with, just so you have an idea going in, is to imagine that we're looking at something sort of like The Binding of Isaac, but set in the visual aesthetic of Don't Starve. And then basically what we're going to be doing is playing something similar to The Binding of Isaac within the Hogwarts School of Magic, in a very Tim Burton-esque atmosphere. It's maybe a bit of a stretch to go for all of those references, and I do want to be careful here because I don't mean to put too much of a spotlight on it. Yes, the developers are aware there's a bit of an homage being made with some of the gameplay conventions here, but that is quite alright. We're in for something totally different and new, and I think this game has quite a bit of promise. So, let us get right into things. We're going to start a new game. I'll do, maybe a run or two of this depending on how things go. I have only played one run so far, so I'm still fairly new to it myself, although I've done a little bit of research just to get my head around a little bit of what might make this special or unique from some of the things that we've seen in the past. So we've got two options here, as this is basically like a Star Fox-esque branching path system for how level progression goes. We can either pick the easier, being the Hall of Demonstration, or the tougher Hall of Demonstration. And essentially it's going to set the stage there with a little bit of flavor text, but we're just going to pick the easier one for now, and provided we get through that okay, we'll maybe try the harder one if things work out fine. As you can see, there's quite a few paths to take, and all of them end up leading to that skull at the top middle there. Unfortunately, we won't get to see all of those. We just get the one level to try out for the demo. Like, as I said, it is a preview pre-alpha version. So we're going to see how this goes anyway. So we're going to move around with WASD, shoot with arrow keys, use a health pot with Q, use space to roll. You'll need to roll. Very important that we roll. Alright, so we play as a little girl who seems to be able to shoot some sort of fireball spell in every direction. And we're going to investigate a procedurally generated map here, and we've got some crazy looking zombies that are after us already, or something like that. I don't believe they are actually necessarily zombies. But they are a group of clans, sort of like what you would imagine if we were, in the Hogwarts School of Magic, how there are the different houses. I believe there's a similar mechanic going on there, where we have different schools, or it's different cliques, basically, to contend with that have different abilities, or different expectations of what we might get out of them if we had to face them. So part of the really cool, unique elements that I've seen from this game so far is that each time you level up, and yes, you can level up, there's an RPG experience system, as you probably noticed. When I kill these enemies, I'm getting a small amount of XP each time. See, it says plus 80 XP, and when I level up, it's actually going to give me a choice of how to progress, how I want to build my character, as well as I'll occasionally enter some rooms where there are enemies that will drop things for me. So we've got to fight against some crazy spider demonic desks, and it looks like a couple of trash cans that are shooting pellets of some sort at me. You'll notice I just got a critical hit there. So there are crits, which is another RPG trope that I think is kind of an interesting thing to integrate into this type of gameplay. And there we go, 100 more XP there. Some interesting aesthetic choices with what we're seeing around. There's pots of boiling bones and piles of broken desks and rubbish everywhere. This school has definitely gone, by the wayside. Things are not exactly looking great right now. So we're going to be fighting some large guys who are throwing globes at us right now, and they actually seem to be able to take out some of the scenery. So we just want to make sure we roll out of the way when we can. Rolling is obviously very important, as they said at the beginning. It's proving quite true. I'd love to unlock some kind of a special ability or something, or a new item maybe, so you could check that out. Hopefully we'll do that soon. Got to get rid of these trash cans in a minute too. Interesting thing to note, so far there only seems to be the one girl to play as, so there isn't a whole lot in terms of like starting customization or anything, but like I said, very, very early build. But I do note the fact that her special is her roll ability, which makes me think there are probably going to be other characters somewhere down the line, just since, it would be silly for them to all have the same special. Alright, so we've gotten a level up. We can now choose a book to read. The Gangs of New Edgewood Move Slower, or The Kite Runner Kites. So these are indicative of how our character build would go based on those titles, which I think they're parodies, which is kind of cute. So we can either get plus 20 damage and plus 10 move speed. Special enemies have 10% less health and move 10% slower. Or we can get plus 5 move speed and plus 50 projectile speed and plus 20% move speed when not damaged for 5 seconds. So the longer I go without damage, essentially the more mobility I'm going to have in the scheme of things. I prefer the tankier characters, so I'm going to go for that book. And I should have the ability to do a little bit more damage. I also do want to note, of course, the aesthetics here. Very interesting looking. Like I said, it reminds me a little bit of Don't Starve, but there are also some slightly other elements out there that I don't really have a way to put my finger on. The fact that there's all this dynamic lighting going on, some of the art actually reminds me of Tim Burton, which is always a very good thing, I would say. And there's a lot of really fine details, actually, and a lot to see. And I have a feeling, since this is still so early, there's probably going to be a lot more to see. Right now, just going through the one level, I've found a number of different aesthetic things that happen that I haven't seen each time I've played. So, I mean, just going from the first run to this run, there's actually a number of different rooms. And obviously, as I said, the layouts are procedural, so there are different paths to take. Wow, this desk is really shooting out a lot of spiders at me. And there we go. Alright, looks like I've gotten a new item here. But what I'm trying to say here is just, like, you see those broken desks, there's the flipped over desk, there's this, I don't know what that is, some kind of a dead animal on a spit, and pile of books. Like, those are just some basic cosmetic things that are going to be thrown together in different ways in all the different rooms. So there does seem to be a pretty good level of diversity for those, just given the fact that this is still very early on. There we go. 0 XP for all those. Thank you for that. What did I get? Plus 5 damage, plus 10 attack speed. Alright, we got Yorick's Skull. On the main title screen, there was actually some sort of a list, and I'm going to guess that was probably like the items we can unlock, or something like that. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we can do much to equip or anything from the start, but maybe in a future build that could be. So now that we've cleared this room, there's actually a little bit of dialogue, which serves to set the scene a little bit better on what's going on here. And you'll notice that'll happen in a number of different rooms. Actually, I ran into one where it was actually poking fun at the game itself, which was actually very interesting, kind of witty and self-referential, which I always appreciate that type of humor. And that's what led me to believe that they definitely, the developers don't mind the fact that we're obviously making a few homage moments here out of what's going on. Oh, okay, we've got garbage pails attacking me. Let's see if we can navigate around those. Remembering I can always roll if I need to. We've got flying desks this time. Oh, we've got shields around these guys. Alright, nothing to be too worried about. Sort of bouncing spike ball. Definitely don't want to get too involved with that. And I think I just picked up some money, it looks like. Haven't seen that yet, so that's new to me. Yeah, another silver coin there. Let's see if we can make our way out. A couple things I did want to mention as far as maybe minor criticism so far. Granted, again, this is still super early, so I don't want to get too critical here, since I'm not even sure what here is placeholder at this point and what is actually, if there is anything final. But like the one thing I want to mention is just like the rolling animation. It's a little silly when you're just standing still and rolling, and I think it should probably roll just once instead of twice. I would rather probably tap the spacebar twice instead of just the one time and then have the roll animation go for too long. Although it does provide a good means of escape right now, as they've noted at the very beginning. Other thing is the sound effect for the fireballs, and I'm going to guess it's probably placeholder, but when it smacks into stuff, it just doesn't feel like it has much impact. Although, it's quite possible that that is not intended to feel like much of an impact, considering it is your starting item, and probably destined to be very weak. So if that is the case, then simply disregard that. R to pick up, what did we get? Cat's Cradle, 10% or 15% slow on hit. Alright, that seems like a good thing to have. So these faster, more mobile enemies probably won't stand much of a chance than if I catch them in a hit, if they have enough HP to get away from me. So far it seems like I do enough damage that I'm not too worried about it, but I'm sure that'll come into play as we get further on into the school. These guys seem to be the type that would want to trap me in a corner, and that one seems to be a special. That's Sherman the Shaggy, a named mob. Oh, and he's dropped some sort of a book here. Shy Stella's Diary, plus 15 damage and 1% lifesteal. That's real good. Alright, that's probably one of the best items I've found so far, so I'm actually going to have a way of healing myself other than just my juice boxes, which are mapped to Q. So we're going to proceed onward to the right. Okay, this is a flame tile room, so these guys are going to chase me around. You'll see there's actually a convention where it'll start lighting off of a block that you were standing over and then sort of proceed to chase you a little bit from there. I accidentally just stepped into, I believe, the boss room. Was not intending on doing that, but on the upside it means we'll get another run-in, because I wanted to explore this a little bit more. Not sure if I'll be able to beat this guy. I did beat him the other time, though. I know the developers have gone on record saying that they pride themselves on this game being fairly difficult, and I definitely enjoy a difficult game myself. But I have to say, I beat it on my first run, so it's not that difficult, at least this first floor. And it probably shouldn't be, considering, you know, it's the first floor. All balancing issues, and again, we're dealing with a pre-alpha preview here, so we're just trying to get a basic idea of what the framework of this game is about. Alright, congrats for defeating Frothy. Thanks for playing the pre-alpha demo. I was wondering, because there didn't seem to be a boss door on this, and I think the first time when I got to Frothy there was a boss door, so I'm wondering maybe... I don't know if that's a glitch, maybe you spawn in the wrong room, or maybe I just forgot what the boss door looks like, I'm not sure. Let's try the tougher hall and see how that goes, and hopefully we'll get some more items so we can see what that's about. It did look like there were quite a few items if that block on the front was indicative of that, which is definitely something that I will try to point out next time we head back out to that menu. Would like to also point out, of course, oh, we've got some flavor text here. Q is for Quinn, almost there. It's a ghost talking to each other, I suppose. R is for Russell. Took too many risks. Don't know about that one. S is for Sandy. You got stuck in a sack. You used that one last time. Give me a moment to rest. What are they saying? Oh, I want to point out the fact that this is currently being kickstarted and is also on Greenlight right now. So if this looks like the type of game that you'd be into, of course there will be a link to both the Greenlight and the Kickstarter campaign, so you can go and back them if you choose, and of course give them the thumbs up over on Greenlight. Looks like the AI is having a bit of trouble with that desk, so I will capitalize on that. We've got +1 to shots, so we actually get double shots now. And the desks are going to speak to each other again. I really like the fact that there's a little bit more going on, and the fact that like it's informing you as to the background of what's going on here, why things are the way they are at times. I know most of these so far that I've seen have been a little bit more on the funny side, but there are definitely some ones that... Oh, here we go. This reminds me of that game. The one in the basement with all those scary creatures? Maybe. It's called... Wait, no, the one where you have to find carrots and rabbits and stuff? Oh yeah, you mean... Don't say it, we could get sued. Really? Maybe, I don't know. I should have paid more attention in law school. Law school? God, you're weird. So there's just little bits of humor like that that definitely keep things going. And as you'll notice, I mean, obviously there's a bit of diversity in each one of these rooms. The fact that they come in all sorts of sizes and shapes, I find that to be a nice touch as well. So we've got another... level up here. So we've got the same one as we had the first time, the tanky-oriented one, and we've got Tender is the slowing projectiles, +5 move speed, +10 HP, and slow nearby projectiles by 45%. That is a lot. I'm still gonna, you know what? Just for the sake of differentiating things, I'll pick this one. I was gonna pick the other one though. I wanted to see if there were any other elements, and as we can see, there is some sort of a radius effect going on around me now, and I believe that would be the projectile slowing range, which is a very cool thing to be able to see. I also really like that they actually go into some detail on what it is exactly that the items do. I mean, it's one thing to be sort of vague about it and explore it as you go, but it's also kind of cool to just know exactly what you're going to get when you pick up an item. And there is still an open spot for both the E and the F key, so we're going to see if we can get something for those. Checking out our map in the top right corner, it looks like we've got a room to the left and down, and a room to the left and up, and then beyond. Looks like actually there's quite a bit functional for a pre-alpha. I mean, the map seems like it's working lovely. There's good diversity already in enemies. I know it's still very early on, so I wouldn't expect very much, but these guys seem like they have a pretty good handle on things. And if it means that this is what we're expecting out of a pre-alpha at this point, then I can't wait to see what the beta looks like. I'm sure it's going to be a very finished-looking, polished experience. And I really, really do like the art style, the music, the atmosphere, the ambience. It's all really well done. I guess I'll use a queue so I can pick up another one of these. It seems like they cap out at 3, so I might as well leave a little bit more. I could definitely see this being the type of game that I would do a Let's Play of. I really do just dig the atmosphere, and I think it's definitely my style. I would like to see a few more like animations on the girl. I mean, it seems a little strange, like when she shoots the fire, that her mouth just sort of opens a little bit. I'm not sure if she's supposed to be like shooting fireballs out of her mouth or something, but I would think maybe like more of a like casting of a spell, like raise your hand or something might make more sense. But again, probably just placeholder graphics, so I wouldn't put too much stock into it. It sounds a little bit like a light bulb exploding when you hit an enemy with the fireballs, which is kind of an interesting thing. I would love to see some other weapons, though, if that's possible. Oh, I need to start doing a little bit more rolling here. William the Windswept is quite fast. There we go. Oh, and we've got the Skull of Yorick. Or Yorick's Skull, I should say. I guess that'll be my trope, saying the names backwards, who knows. Really, they can die and we're invulnerable? But they're brave. Better to die on your desk feet than live on your, Oh, it's actually the desks speaking to each other? I thought maybe it was just, like, ghosts that were in the room with us. That could be interesting, too. Maybe occasionally we'll run into a room, and this is just me, you know, making stuff up. I haven't seen this or anything, but if we walked into a room that was largely story-based, although it might get a little old on repeated plays, but maybe there could be, like, a campaign mode versus a, like, skirmish mode or a skirmish campaign. I'm not sure what you call that exactly, but where it's more like you're playing the game proper just for the conventions versus you're playing the game for the story. So that way maybe you could unlock that mode by, you know, walking through the story that unfolds little by little in a procedural element as well. And then if you found that to be extremely fun, then you go on and continue to play it for the gameplay conventions and try to master it. I'm very curious to see where things go as we get further up into the school and what sort of crazy items we might find. I'd also like to really kill those spike balls. That would be lovely. And those lightning poles as well would be nice. Alright, so up we go. That was our starting room. I didn't realize I had gone in such a wild path out into the side there. See, it might be possible for me to get another level on this run, hopefully. Oh, what's going on in here? In another fire pit room. Now, I don't want to risk walking into where the dragon is again. See, that door definitely looks different. I'm going to assume that's probably the boss door, so we're going to go over here and see about continuing our search a little bit more. Whoa. Now, I don't know if there is any kind of an experience bar yet. Normally I would hit escape to see if there was any menus for that type of thing, but I'm a little worried that it would just bring me out back to the main menu. I don't really want to do that. So there's still one more room over to the left, and you'll notice this floor actually has quite a bit to it. Oh, okay, this guy looks pretty dangerous. He's got a pretty large attack. I'm going to use a few juice boxes here and hopefully make it out alive. This area of effect range slow projectile thingy on me is not doing too much to help, so hopefully I can get a few hits in here. Because I am now out of juice boxes, I will continue to kite him left and right, and hopefully some of my shots will get through. It doesn't look like many are. Okay, there we go. Barely made it out, and we've got the cat's cradle again. 15% slow on hit. Oh, okay, hello. You got these guys throwing globes at me. I don't think they're too dangerous. Oh, we've got 3 of them. Remind me a little bit of those dudes with the boulders in Dark Souls. As I lay dying, I get stronger. Plus 15 damage, minus 5 move speed, plus 15% defense, and plus 2 light radius. So I guess light will actually come into play here at some point, which is kind of cool. And the Kite Runner kites, which we saw before, plus 50 projectile speed is largely the biggest one here, and more move speed when you don't get damaged for 5 seconds. So I'm going to go with as I lay dying, I get stronger. I really like the fact that there are multiple progression paths for your character and that you sort of level on a dynamic scale instead of just reaching rooms that are sort of like predisposed to give you upgrades. Since it means that if you have a particularly poor bout of luck and you don't run into that room, or maybe you wouldn't have like the resources to access a room like that, that you still have a chance to do something with your character. So in case I don't actually make it to the boss on this one, which hopefully I will, but you never know, I believe the boss is going to be that dragon again, although probably a harder version of it, so we won't be missing out on much, although it looks like I made it. I don't know a reason to spend my money yet, so that's a new thing. Oh, geez, that did a lot of damage. I am down to 1 hit left, as I haven't seen anything that's done less than 5 damage, and hopefully I don't walk into another spike ball or something. Or a lightning rod, you never know. Whoa, those spike balls move at a really strange pattern. Alright, so we gotta go down for the boss, and the boss is ready to go. And I might not even get off, like, 2 hits. Oh no, okay, I got a couple hits off. And there goes my life. Okay. Well, Frothy the Dragon has taken me on that one. The class schedule is locked, but we can have a look at it. Oh, I think it just brought me back out. Let's go back. There we go. Alright, so this is what I was talking about before. I think when you get levels or you get currency or something, maybe you can use your credits to unlock things which are more like a permanent progression. Which would lend to something a little bit more like Rogue Legacy, perhaps, or 10 million, where each time you make a little bit more progress into the school, you actually unlock yourself some abilities that you can bring in from the start. And if that's the case, then I absolutely love that mechanic, because that's exactly the type of thing that makes me play something endlessly. So I could easily see myself going back and doing this over and over again. This is all locked, though, and there's nothing that I can look at, so if you're wondering, no, I can't actually move. Oh, wait, no, I can move around in it, but there's nothing to see or do here. I can just highlight stuff, so yeah, unfortunately not too helpful. You'll see that it says credit balance down on the bottom left, and there's a green, blue, and either charcoal, blackish, grayish, whatever that color is, for crystals, and I haven't seen how you unlock those, and they might not even be implemented at this point. But still, very, very cool, and I am psyched to see a little bit more as this game progression gets further in development. It's definitely a game that I could see myself making quite a few videos on, and one that I had quite a good time playing, even though it was a bit of a short little experience. It was enough for me to get a taste of it, and I have a feeling I could keep coming back to it for a long time to come. So if you felt the same way, and you'd like to express that, the best way you could do it is head on over to their Kickstarter. At the time of me recording this, they still have about a week left. So throw them some support if you can afford it, and if you think this is an idea that should go forward in development, I certainly think it is. But that's me personally. I know everybody's got their own, styles and outlooks on things like that, and I do want to keep the comments fairly civil. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of comparisons to Binding of Isaac. That's fair. I mean, obviously, as I said, there's some homage being made here, but let's keep it civil. I'm sure there are enough differentiating elements here that isn't the thing that should largely dominate discussion, but that's just me. Aside from that, though, the other thing, like I said, Greenlight, if you'd like to throw them a vote over there, that certainly would help out the developers, and I'm going to definitely be adding them to my Greenlight collection. I do have an official Indie Impressions Greenlight collection, by the way. If in case you've not seen it, I have it in my description for the video. Basically all the videos that have had it have that in it. So feel free to browse through there in case there's some others you might like. And that will bring us to our closing plugs. So Our Darker Purpose in general, big thumbs up for me. I'd love to see more of it. And hopefully we can make something happen with this one. So, as always, if you'd like to check out some more episodes in the series, quickest way to reach those is to go check out my archive over at indie-impressions.com. I keep them all over there neatly categorized. You can check them out by tags. You can check them out by distribution method platform. If you'd like to browse all the free games, all the games on Steam, or all of that, that's all neatly tagged for you. I also do have forums over there, and there's actually ways you can get some free games if you participate in, leaving comments and just generally being an active member over on the site. So definitely worth a look, if you just want to take a minute. I've also got a Facebook page for the series, facebook.com/indieimpressions. If you'd like to leave a like over there, it does help me out a little bit, and then you'll get every day's new videos delivered into your Facebook stream, just in case YouTube is acting up and you don't see all of my new videos. I've had people tell me that happens, so that will keep you out of that trouble. And it also helps me out, like I said. I also do occasional contest game giveaways and such through there. I also announce when I'm streaming for the most part, for the NLSS and my own streams personally. So if you'd like to check that out, it just takes a second. Lastly, I also have a Twitter handle, which is @RockLeeSmile. So if you'd like to send me any questions, concerns, comments, or game recommendations, that's one very quick way to get in touch with me. I also do have a contact form, though, which is right over on the website I mentioned earlier, indie-impressions.com. So if you're an indie dev and you'd like to get in touch with me about the possibility of showing off your game, that is one way to start that discussion. And I'm generally welcoming anyone. If you'd like to email me about just about anything, I'm always up for talking about it. So That is going to do it, guys. Make sure you check out the links in the description of this video. The Kickstarter and the Greenlight will be down there, as well as all my social media links, so you can keep up on what's going on with the series. I do thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll come back again tomorrow, because I do a new episode every single day without exception. So I hope to see you back then, and I hope you have a lovely night. I will talk to you later.